Have you ever realized that being too detail oriented can keep you in the place of being stuck, stagnant, broke, and broken? Yes, knowing too many details can keep you from going to your next level. If you're interested in seeing how, continue on watching to the next video. Hi everyone, welcome back to video 2 in today's series, and we're talking about conscientiousness. And conscientiousness means being detail oriented about a particular goal that you desire to achieve. Now you might be thinking like, whoa, that sounds great. I am supposed to do that. How else am I going to achieve my goals? Well, here is the part of being too detail oriented that's keeping you stuck or stagnant, or in a place of being broke and feeling broken in multiple areas of your life. There's something to being overly conscientious about the wrong things or the not so right things. So let me give you an example before I give you some different definitions. I work with a client who's a millionaire who owns multiple centers in her particular field. And she called me on a call and she wanted to do something, a new project she wants to start and partner with someone, which is great. But then she starts going through all the details of the things and the reasons why she hasn't gotten anything done. And she was just going, well, I have to do this. And at this meeting, this. And in this meeting, this. And I have to go to this place and this, that. And none of those things had anything to do with the bigger goal. I won't say even bigger goal, going to the next level of this event that she wants to produce, where she can get more exposure, where she can get more clients, more awareness, and she's operating in a different skill set. And if you want to know more about that, go back and watch video number 1. She's operating in a new skill set. So she already took the courage to take the step to go and say, I want to do this thing. Let me learn it. But now she's reverting to old habits of being too detail oriented about her current level. Now I know, stay with me, okay? Of course, she's comfortable in that space. She's been successful in that space. But there's a time where she needs to, and we talked about this, let go of the details at this level and focus on the details at the next level. You have the resources to pass those details on to someone else, so you're not so focused on those, because the more that you stay focused on the details in your current level, you're going to be too drained to go to your next level. So another definition of being conscientious that I want to talk to you about is wishing to do what is right, especially to do one's work, or dutiful, well, and thorough. So if you're a believer in Christ, and you don't have to be, but that's just the position that I'm taking, is God has given all of us a particular mission to have more income, impact, and influence in the world. He's given us gifts and talents that we're supposed to use to help other people, one, come into the kingdom of Christ, and for their lives to be better while they're here on earth. And of course, making sure that God gets the glory. Okay. So we have a particular mission. It may not be your career. It may not be what you're currently doing. It could be something at a new level. So he may not give you all the details at first for this current level. The new level. So instead of you focusing and say, okay, God, let me know the next step. And when he tells you, you do that, you say, oh, I don't know. I need all the details for that. And because I don't have the details for that, I'm going to revert to looking at the details in my former space because I'm more comfortable with that. And that's the wrong thing to do. That is what's keeping you broken, stuck, and stagnant. That's how being smart is like, oh yeah, you're brilliant in this area. You don't feel so brilliant at this next level, so you go backwards. And I want to encourage you not to do that. So if you've been feeling a certain place, like, what is happening? Like, I know how to do something. It could be that you're focusing on the details in the wrong place, and that is taking up too much of your time. So in that conversation that I had with that client, she was just like, by the time I do all of this, I don't have time to do the thing that I want to do. Exactly. That's how our brain tricks us. So you have to say, wait, I know I want to go to this particular level. There's something I need to learn at this level. I have to do some things at this level. I have to know how to do it. It's going to take a lot more of my time and attention. You have to make sure you give your energy to that and leave those things, those former things alone. So here's some scriptures I want to share with you, because Paul was a great example of that, of being conscientious. In Acts chapter 23, verse 1, in the Passion Translation, it says, Paul fixed his eyes on the members of the council and said, "My brothers, up to this day, I have lived my life before God with a perfectly and clear conscience." You don't want to get to the end of your life and have regrets about focusing on the wrong things or not accomplishing the things that you wanted to accomplish because your mind was so bogged down in the minutia of the old things. In Acts 24, verse 16, in the Amplified version, he says, "In view of this, I also do my best and strive always to have a clear conscience before God and before men." Similar thing. Hey, I have done my duty. I stayed the course. I focused on the things that mattered and I got the job done. And then in 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 1 in the Passion translations, it says, "I want you to pattern your lives after me, just as I pattern mine after Christ." When Jesus was on this planet, he had one laser focus. He didn't go to the left or to the right. He focused on the things that matter. He didn't get bogged down in the minor things. Like, his disciples will always come to him about these lower level things. And Jesus was like, "Y'all going to handle that. I'm not focusing on that. This is what I'm going to do." And it can sound rude, but you know that in order to go keep climbing up and where you need to go, you have limited mental capacity to hold details. So why not make sure that you're focusing on the details that are actually going to move you forward? So don't trick yourself into focusing on the details that are going to keep you busy and broken or stuck and stagnant. You want to focus on the details that's going to push you forward and elevate you into your new or next dimension. So there are 8 things that I pulled out from, like, just watching the life of Paul and him being conscientious about the mission that he has, but I'm only going to share 4 of them with you so that you can take those and run with those 4. So the first one was being deliberate. So he exercised himself to do the things that he was supposed to do, like being deliberate. This is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to be bogged down around those other things, those shiny objects. I'm going to be deliberate about this task that's in front of me. The next thing, he was disciplined. He had self-control. He exercised his mind and his body to do the things. So with my client, it was like, if you want to do this particular event, you have to be disciplined enough to, one, hand off the reins for your other business in a particular area to someone else, and then discipline yourself not to run up to the office, to go check on things, especially when you handed it over. You have to use that time to sit and be disciplined on the new task, because our brains could trick us and be like, "Oh, this is hard." And she admitted this, and I'm glad she saw this. She's like, "Oh, this is too hard. I'm going to go do the things that I used to do." But you have to discipline yourself when you're learning a new skill and learning and going to another level. Sit there and actually learn the task, because you think, "Oh, it was easy when I did this before." No, you just been doing it a lot, but you still had that same barrier of it being new and you didn't want to do it. But then over time, you disciplined yourself. So now it's time to do it again. Sometimes it can be challenging because you've been doing the same thing for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And it has and it's been that long since you exercised your mind to do something new. So you have to be disciplined. And then number 3, discerning. That means even if someone comes to you with a great opportunity to do something, if it's not aligned to the mission or the task that you're doing for this season or for this time or even for the next decade, then you have to say no to it, and it's okay. So you have to be discerning that not all good things are great things, and they're not all for you. And don't have any FOMO, because if it's for you, it'll come back. But if it's not aligned to the mission, you have to, again, be deliberate and disciplined and discerning to know that I am going to stay focused right here. And then the last one is dependable. Now, it could be like, "Well, people depend on me." No. You need to depend on you. You need to depend on the strength of God and depend on what God told you to do. And you need to depend on yourself to get things done. This is not the time when you're focused, especially going to another level because you're learning new skill sets. This is not the time to have everyone else dependent on you. You have to take this time and depend on yourself and know that you're putting in the time and the work, and it's only for a season, because once you learn how to do it, learn about doing it and what it all takes, then you get to a level of mastery, and then you can open yourself up to other people. But right now you have to depend on yourself to be disciplined, deliberate, and discerning. You want to get to the place where you are consistent as well. So that's what another part of being dependable. You are showing yourself that you can consistently do a task, consistently go to another level and not revert to what you've been doing before. All right. So let me know your takeaway from that. I know it could be kind of a mind shift of being too detail oriented can keep you in the place of being stuck and stagnant, and in the place of being broke and broken in different areas of your life if you've been too detail oriented on the wrong things, and it's sucking up your time for the things that truly matter. All right, so again, leave a takeaway down below. And if you like this vibe, go ahead and subscribe. Make sure you like and share. And I will see you in video number 3. So stay tuned, and I'll see you on the other side.